Hiya, everybody. It's me again. Yes, this pain in the ass is back. How you doing? Um, just really. I was just watching the interview with the doorman. I love my people. Just honest and honestly. Well, a lot of honesty in this situation. Um, this is how people who speak from the heart sound. Sometimes it's funny, but you can always relate. What you're finding from the persecution, because everything is based on a lie, they keep stumbling. Even when they're speaking, the witnesses are sitting there like they get this really weird vibe, and that's what I'm speaking about. What intuition is. Again, this whole the reason why I'm doing these talks is because of trying to point out intuition, because nobody has explained it to us. Like I mean, obviously there's people out there that know about this stuff besides me. I learned it from someone else. But the point is that I'm using this opportunity to point out that feeling you get, that icky feeling you get when you're listening to these people. That's your intuition telling you those are the red flags, those are the red lights flashing. So it's important to I want to point this out, because in these times we have noticed that there's a whole lot of lies being thrown out there, just like it's candy. Just go ahead and lie. It's in it's in these days. So what I'm doing is basically just pointing out that hey, you're not crazy. What you're feeling is literally what you're supposed to be feeling when you're hearing troublesome people, troublesome versions that make no sense. Again, when you're hearing lies, okay, they have professionals for that, and you're probably gonna sit there and tell me, what the hell do you know? Again, I'm trying to point out that you don't need a degree for this, but you do need to get to a certain level in your spiritual advancements for you to able to trigger or turn on these abilities. It's not like you press a button; they just become on. And in fact, back in 2012, maybe a couple of years after that, I could literally feel as my transition kept happening, my change, because ever since I started meditating, like I said in the past in other videos, things started moving around in my life, basically started changing. Okay, and it stings sometimes, but the point here is that these things started to be more. They just came on. I used to tell people, I don't know what it is, but I feel like there's little circuits being turned on inside me. Like I feel like there's little lights that are just turning on right now inside me. I mean, that's what I was saying back in those days. Anyway, that's part of the reason why I know that these abilities, you're able to use them as well. But again, you must have a kind heart. You must have good intentions, because you're dealing with the highest. You're dealing with divine gifts here. So I'm starting to find out that this is I don't hear people talking about this stuff, so this is good that I'm talking about this, and I hope that you can share this, so you keep telling everybody, because I think we're approaching a time in human history that we are going to start to become aware of these things. More people are starting to change their lives in this particular way. They're starting to get away from the material and starting to get more introspective, and they're starting to see that there's more value there, and they're starting to see that, in fact, when you are rich within, you are rich without. So You don't have to screw somebody over. You don't have to step over people. You don't have to backstab people to get ahead. There's actually a more divine, more easier way, well, relatively speaking, because it's there's going to be tests. There's going to be, in fact, I have some notes, but yeah, I probably should grab them right now. These transitions, they're a way for you to and I say transitions because it is part of the big transition. I mean, it's constantly changing. So if you're thinking you're gonna achieve bliss or nirvana by just sitting there and just watching TV, forget about it. That's never gonna happen. You're gonna become really good about the Kardashians and all them, reality shows that we like to spend our lives with, because for some reason they're car crashes that we just love to watch, like this particular case. But again, I'm using this case to point out again these things, because if you feel icky about when these people are, and you're like, you feel this icky feeling inside you, it's because people are lying and it's not making any sense, and your intuition is triggering, it's coming on. And it comes on for a reason, right? We run into trouble because we don't follow our intuition. And this is why I started following my intuition, because you get those face slap moments every time you go, and you felt it and you ignored it because you went with your head. Because your head is going to give you different scenarios, no matter what, even if you don't ask. It's always going to give you different scenarios on everything. That's why it's important that you guys ground yourselves, meditate to, again, if God is silence, which God is, complete peace, quietness, stillness, how in the hell are you going to be able to identify God when it comes around? Or anything derived from the divine, from God? And I say God, and I want you guys I know some people can get turned off because it's like, oh, this is religious talk. This is not religious talk. This is spiritual talk. Religion teaches you, is the method. Spirituality, you're dealing with the divine itself directly. You don't need a third person. This is why Jesus Christ was crucified and John the Baptist, his cousin, was beheaded, because of speaking more than they should. But whatever, I've been around. You want to do something to this body, whatever, I'll come back. I don't give a shit, really. At this point, as much as I've lost, bring it. I'm covered. I'm defended. I'm protected by the divine. Doesn't matter what my fate is in this particular body. So again, you don't need the intermediary. You don't need the middle person. You can tap into divinity yourself right now at this moment. But what you need to do is clear things up with yourself. Do you want good in your life? I've said that in past videos. This is why you need to be watching, because I'm going to keep dropping all these golden nuggets in every video, and sometimes there's a lot of them. Okay? I think I'm going to call, I'm going to make another channel, or maybe, I don't know. But this ramble on spirit that I'm naming these videos, that's me. Because I just ramble on about this stuff. I have the spirit of somebody who rambles on about spirit. There it is. That's my explanation for the name. I ramble on. But while I'm rambling on, I'm just dropping nuggets. Golden nuggets, okay? That you can use here, tomorrow, later, or maybe it's exactly what you need to hear right now. So again, if you're here, you're meant to be here. Anyway, so you need to ground yourself. You need to make sure that you understand what God feels like. The creator, the divine, the highest, the universe. You need to know how it feels. So if you're not quiet, if you're not taking the time brother, sister, you have to do it. You have to do it because it's necessary for you to get in that flow. I mean, that's all that's all all the good that you want in your life is right there. So it doesn't matter how much you want to struggle in the physical life. I think if you really consider things, 99% of the time you're in in the mental realm. You're not necessarily all physical. Think about it. The only physicality that you really feel is whenever you're going through pain, and usually you'll do that diligently. you know, you want to go through pain because you figure that's the way you earn it. That's the way you earn happiness. That's the way you earn money. That's the way you earn everything. You're still thinking that you have to earn your way, and that's in a way it's true, but once you find your spiritual mission, what you're meant to do here, if you wake up thinking about this particular thing that really excites you and you want to do it, that's it. Do it. Whenever you're doing it, you feel like you get lost in it. Hours, days, weeks go by. Maybe you're not even eating, you're not sleeping, because you're so enthusiastic about this thing. That's what you're meant to do. This is why I ramble on about spirit. This is what I'm meant to do. So, I guess what I'm saying is that all the tribulations and the hardships is because you're finding your way to the good stuff. Not here, not here, not here. And meanwhile, there are hot stoves and you keep getting hurt in the process, right? Until finally you go, you know what, maybe I should start listening to someone else, like my inner call, my soul. I mean, because I think it was the guy from Apple. Well, you guys know who I'm talking about. This guy. Steve Jobs. He said that if you follow what's within, well, it somehow knows where you need to go. It somehow knows what you need to do. And this is what, if you start clearing all all the brushes and all the yuckiness and the muckiness out of the way, and you start getting quiet and still and following your intuition will let you know, now go act. Because this isn't about just sitting there on the beach and meditating. You actually got to get to work. So, but you don't just do it for work's sake. Again, like a lot of people just put hard work into everything because they figure that's the way to go and get somewhere. That did work, but again, it's leaving people exhausted and feeling like they've been doing the wrong thing, and because they've been working really hard on the wrong thing. It's a lot easier when you find your calling. So it's like somebody who decides, I'm gonna be a teacher because they get summers off, yes, and you get benefits, and it's like being back in high school. I can do the popularity thing and just be one of the guys and one of the gals. That's not your calling. You're just looking at all these these little specks of materiality, in materialism. That it really I think life is more about what you're feeling inside. Because you can have a lot of money, but you still be afraid inside that somebody's gonna come and take it. You could have somebody who is just amazing, to you and for you, and it's just like, this is my other half, but because your own interior fears, you blow it. You drive that person away because you're overprocessed, because you don't want to lose this person, right? So you're overprocessed and overprotective and over, and your grip is too tight. You're a Lenny petting a little mouse, a little rabbit, a little wabbit. See what I'm saying? You want it too hard, and it's because of that insecurity. So therefore, bye-bye. You drive it away. So it also explains the concepts of detachment. Again, in your transition, in your journey, you have to go through all this stuff. Transitioning, peeling away things you're not going to need in the future, people you're not going to won't be able to travel with you in the future. That is the hardest part, because sometimes it's family, it's blood. But if you consider sometimes that they don't want you to change because that affects them, they don't, it's like, I like you the way you are, and I like the way things are. Who cares if you're dying inside? Let's keep it the same way, the way it is. And sometimes you find that things are not working out in your career, in your life, and you're like, what the hell is going on? It's because you keep lingering around the same spot, and you're not really moving. Like I said before in another video, you're holding on to the edge. You decide, yes, I want this life and everything, and oh yeah, I'm willing to make all the changes. We'll see when these kind of challenging aspects come in. Like, oh, your family is not all in, and your goal and dream, your calling, which is, again, we could be really selfish if we want something, right? Or self-centered and, single-minded if we want something. But if it's really your calling, you have to make sure that it's really your calling, because a lot of times it just could be your ego, just driving you to get more money or get this particular position. Me, myself, as an actor, imagine, I want the Oscar. I want to see the Oscar. I want to see the millions. I want to see all of that stuff. But this is all materiality. I tell this to my other actor buddies whenever I have a chance to speak this deeply about these things, is that how does it make you feel? I mean, because that's really what you got in the business. It's just feeling of flying. Because you're dealing with the divine, you're in the zone. Whenever you click off yourself and you're another character, and your scene is just clicking, you're flying. You're dwelling in the divine. This is why people get lost in the character. People get lost in the solo. People get lost in the activity. You're dealing with the divine, people. So that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm here, to point out these things, that you are already doing it. You are a divine being already, having these divine experiences, and you're not giving it the value. Let's face it, you're not giving it the value that it deserves. So you think you still, so again, sorry about my language, but you still think you're a piece of shit. And shit just is all around you. Learn to appreciate what you're having, the talents you're having, all of the gifts that come in daily, the air in your lungs. Do you know what it takes to make your body work? Who's handling it? You have to press a button every morning? Nope. You have to crank some kind of lever to get you going? Nope. Do you have to enter some kind of a particular calculation into a computer? Nope. Someone is handling it. Let go. Let go of that edge. You decide to take this trip. Yes, I want to change my life. You want to embark on this trip. Let go. Let go of the edge. Let go. This is for everybody, including myself. Because there's certain things that we keep doing, we keep thinking, we keep wanting, that's keeping us stuck, because we're not living what God is, right? The moment, the silence, the stillness. We don't know our intuition is telling us if we're in the right track or anything. Again, if you're following your intuition, you're going to find that things get easier, because it's almost like the seas part for you, because you're following your intuition. You're following the path of least resistance is what your intuition follows. Is what it is the path of least resistance. I said in another video, when you're weighing two things, two ideas, two ways out of the situation or whatever, you want to go with the one that you feel an openness in your chest. You feel an ease, like, yes, this seems like the right idea. It feels right. And this one makes you feel anxious, it's like, I don't know. That's not it. Follow that. Follow your intuition, and pretty soon you're going to start seeing, because it's like the oceans part, that your life becomes easier. Because again, This is how God communicates with us, through your intuition. In meditation, you get to talk to it, or just kind of experience it. Put out any kind of request you have. It's not like request, you're just admitting that you have this because you are a child of nature. Mother Earth is your mother. Father Sky, the eternal cosmos, that's your father. And you are their child. And they got you. But you have to know how they are, how they feel, where to find them. By the way, that's inside. And you have to close your eyes and you have to go there. Yes, you have to go there. You have to stop moving those little feet, because it's another clue into why things seem to improve when you actually take a break, when you actually relax, when you keep pushing and pushing. I used to be a fitness trainer, and I have this particular, and you're probably watching, and you had this particular event in your life, and you felt pressured, and you didn't know how to go forward, and you were wishing there was something that would get you out of it. And then all of a sudden you got injured. So you couldn't really do anything that you were already doing, but it gave you a pause for you to weigh out your life, or for you to make that change because you were asking for it. But then we did not let go of the edge, and we continue on with the same thing, because again, it's kind of letting go what you already know. I mean, God knows what's going to happen if I just let go of this. So you, even though you were hurt, you still went back to the particular thing. And then people decided, hey, you're coming back already? You could have just taken some time off. And then they decided to give you more work, because it's like, hey, you can put up with it. Go ahead. And then it was just like you never even got hurt. Again, life brings these situations sometimes to get us. It's like you're going straight, and it's just like, oh, you have to make a turn. You have to make a turn. So what happens? Did we make a turn? No. Maybe we're still in that intersection. We have to let go, and we have to keep moving forward. It's part of evolution. It's part of life. Life ain't about sitting down on the couch and watching television, drinking beer. It's about moving forward. It's about, in fact, some of these things need to fall off out of us, because sometimes it could be activities that are lower in vibration, which the best part is in the higher vibrations. Let's just call it the penthouse. And you decide to live in the basement or on the third floor for that instance. And maybe you feel like, I've gotten up pretty high monetarily. I have everything I need. So you figure you're like in the 8th floor. Still, you're not in the penthouse. So the point is that in vibration, you keep doing the low vibration activities, you're going to have people with low vibration coming around you. Basically, low vibration says it's the zone where all the liars, all of the tricksters, basically all of the insecure people are. And insecure people are dangerous because they'll do many things out of insecurity. They'll cheat, they'll lie, they'll backstab, they'll sleep with your wife, they'll sleep with your husband, they'll take your husband, they'll take your girlfriend. Insecure people can be faithful, can be loyal. And insecure people will do anything to keep you stuck, to keep you there, because they don't want to lose you. These are low vibrational individuals doing low vibrational things. If you do it with them, guess where you are? Move, detach, walk away, stop talking to that person, stop doing that thing. Again, I'm not saying, you have to live a life of rectitude. You have to follow your intuition. You have to follow your calling. I'm asking you to get in communication with the divine, not to be listening to me. I mean, listen to what I'm saying. In this case, get in touch with the divine. You go and get in touch with them. I can give you some tips on how to do it, but essentially, you are the one who has to make that choice, and you are the one who is supposed to, or is meant to, open up and let all that stuff in. And part of opening up is not being closed. And a lot of times when we're in these fixed ideas, we are closed. Closed for business. Think about that. Think about water running. This is why I call myself Ramble On Spirit, because I feel, a lot of it is, I love water. I have to be around water, and I learned that when water is running or is moving, it doesn't spoil. It's not rotten, right? You're seeing like water that sits in a vase, in a base, however you call it, in something in a container for a long time. It starts to smell, and then all this crap starts to grow. It rots, right? So we can't expect to have a good life if we're sitting in the same spot, right? And don't tell me that somebody's keeping you there. You're keeping yourself there because you're not making the necessary choices. You're not arming yourself with courage and moving ahead. You gotta let go. You gotta let go. Again, I'm speaking about things that I'm currently going through or have gone through. Okay, I'm not speaking about anything I can't do or I don't know anything about. This is what happened to me, and like I said in the beginning of this video, as much as I've lost, bring it. Because I know that anytime I lose, I'm gaining something else. I know that anytime I think I'm failing, I'm literally just saying, you know what? I can't handle it, God, you take over. Release, surrender. Again, I'm not just speaking to you, I'm speaking to myself too. I'm going through these things. I am imperfect, as we all are in this experience. I wanted to talk about Johnny Depp, but I think I'll just use another video for that. But essentially, it's when it goes back to that case, it's literally just lying and truth. And I said that from the very first video of this series. I think it was 3 videos ago, that we're getting to see what the truth and lies. We get to see two people represent truth and represent one, and the other represent lies. But now we're getting the feeling inside us. We get to see, that's icky. Like I'm sorry, but the female lawyer for one of the female lawyers for the prosecution. It's like, again, because everything is based on lies, and I'm sorry to say, but it's like her voice is like I can't even hear it. And as you can look at the faces of some of the witnesses, it's like when she was speaking about the kiss, to the painter friend, the guy that Johnny, was paying for everything, for him to be an artist. Beautiful. By the way, Johnny, you're awesome. When she was talking about the kisses, was it a firm kiss? Was it it was just like, it was so icky. It was so icky that everybody in the audience, in the courtroom, was just like completely put off by this, how she was trying to put it, because they were trying to set Johnny up with, or basically saying that all of the people who are witnesses for Johnny, obviously they're trying to tarnish their reputation, and they're trying to make this other guy as a sicko or something, because somebody as self-involved as that woman would say, oh, he wants me. This poor guy who probably just wants to be a painter and be left alone in his studio. So they're trying to saying that he was like a icky old man trying to get into her skirts or whatever. But anyway, that's the feeling that what you're getting, you're not crazy. Because a lot of the times when intuition clicks in, you start second guessing, and you start thinking, I'm such a piece of shit. I'm judging people. That's not it. That's not. I mean, yes, you have to go into some kind of a process of introspection to kind of decipher what is this. But a lot of the times it's like you feel it in your chest, in your gut, especially. And I will give you some examples later on. Because we're running really long now. For instance, like I said, the reason why I learned how to use my intuition was because one time I was training somebody at the beach, and I used to train martial arts. I'm a Jeet Kune Do instructor, so I teach people martial arts, and we were loosening up, and I know I don't just take movements from sometimes from sports or anything like that, anything that is sports derived. Sometimes I will mix in some yoga, some ballet movements, because if they work, I'm using them, because some gymnastic movements and so on and so forth, dancing movements as well, because it's you have to, like in the Jeet Kune Do philosophy, it's a totalitarian type of philosophy that basically that nothing is excluded. If it works for you, and if your body works for it works for your body, then you do it. So this is why I understand these concepts a lot, because jazz, for instance, is the same way. It's like there are no rules. It's that whatever works for you, you do it in the moment. That's huge. So anyway, so this we're doing some movements, and some again, these guys were walking by, and these guys were problematic. They were problematic for me for a while, because they had one of them owned a gym, the UFC gym up in the Long Beach Circle. By the way, yes, it's no longer there because they're going down. Because again, it was the bad energy that we're carrying. If you're listening, this is why it happened. The pandemic and everything, it affected your business. It's because you were an asshole. So now you're paying for it. Anyway, moving forward. Him and his buddies were walking by, and they're trying to teach me a lesson or something, because, I guess I'm affecting their turf. I don't know how one guy can be affecting a whole gym, but whatever. They came around and they wanted to mess with me. So one of them, full of tattoos, wiry looking guy, comes around. He ran all the way. But while he was running, again, obviously, I'm just minding my own business. I'm trying to get my client going with the warm-up. And my intuition clicked on. And the reason why I say that I'm leading with that is because my solar plexus, it was like on fire. But it's like, that sinking feeling, like I'm scared type of sinking feeling, which kind of threw me off, because it's like, what the hell is this? What am I scared of? And then something told me, look to the left. I mean, it was just like this thing, like energy was coming to my left. When somebody is coming by and you hear their steps? It was kind of like that. But I didn't hear any steps. It was just something like there's an energy coming your way from the left. So I look over, and I see it's about still the length of a football field still that he has left. Like he has run about the length of a football field on the sand, by the way. And then he's still going, and he still has another length of a football field. So the 2 football fields in length that he had to run. So as I see him, again, because my solar plexus let me know, I was actually tapping into his feelings. This is what's so important about this stuff. This is what's so huge about you learning this stuff. That I was actually feeling his feelings. And a lot of the time, this is huge for me to point out, because sometimes you're feeling things that other people are feeling, especially if you're an empath. You're feeling things that other people are feeling. So sometimes the fear, the disappointment, the feeling like you're a loser, things like that, sometimes it's not even you. It's not even yours. You're picking up from somebody else. Somebody that may be thinking about you. Or, as long as you have ties to somebody, if you're thinking about them, you'll be able to tap in what they're thinking. Sometimes you're picking it up of the people on TV. If you're crying during a crying scene, guess what you just did? You're picking up her emotions. Well, that's another thing. Actors, they have to feel real feelings. They're not faking. They're not acting. an actor, you'll be able to see that they're acting, because it's a sense of faking. See that again. You feel icky about it. You're like, that's your intuition. I'm getting it. My chills are going. That means I think somebody out there is grasping the idea. So anyway, so this guy's coming. My intuition's going crazy. My solar plexus starts to boom, and I feel fear. And that's what makes me turn, because I feel this energy. Because first I question myself, what is this fear? I'm just warming somebody up. There's nothing to make me feel afraid of in this case. So that's why it made me question it. So, but then I felt that energy, so I turn and I see him and I go, okay, we'll keep running. You're gonna be exhausted by the time you get here. So by the time I saw that, what I did, and it's just, I don't know. Sometimes I think that when you want to, sometimes you can click on into different energies, because you have to also remember, you have, what are they called? And Joseph Campbell pointed this out, and the Hero of 1,000 Faces. We have these, not prototypes. That's not the right word, but it's these characters inside us. We can be wizards, we can be warriors, we can be princesses, we can be peasants, we can be hierophants, like the Pope, like somebody who stands for religion and so on, or the godly law. Somebody who can be anyway, there's different aspects, different personalities that we carry within. This is why Star Wars is huge with people, because we cannot relate to every single one of those characters. In fact, let me just point, just as a side note, in the Breakfast Club, the criminal, the dork, the brain, the jock, the head case, and the princess. It's all me. How can you be the princess? Because we all have them. We all have them. You have to go and discover them. You have no idea what you're missing. Because if you're not tied down to any limits, you can be anything and everything at the same time being nothing. See, be nothing. Don't call yourself anything. Marlon Brando was asked, in one word or in 5 words, describe yourself. And you know what he said? Not a million years. Not a million years. Not in a million years, by the way, if you didn't get that. Because I think he knew that the moment you give yourself a mold, you stay like that. Think about that. If you give yourself an idea, a concept about yourself, what are you doing? You're closing down all others. You're becoming this solid thing, and you should be more like water instead of being something solid. Think about water that is frozen. That's it. It's done for, right? But it's only the free. Imagine the freedom that that water achieves once it melts. It becomes free. So that's the idea. When you're free, you're able to be everything, because you decide to be nothing. Okay? So there shouldn't be any ego there. So anyway, so at the point that happened, and whenever we are faced with situations, sometimes you click on. And all of a sudden, the Bruce Lee inside me came out. And I said to myself, baby, keep running, come on over, because what I got for you, you're not really ready for. So I started skipping on my toes, because, baby, I've been doing Bruce Lee since I'm freaking 4 years old. So, here my solar plexus is no longer feeling that fear, because I'm identifying that it wasn't mine, but I know how he feels. That's power. So you know what happened? As I'm skipping, this clown is trying to like make fun, like he's doing some Jane Fonda exercises. So I'm like skipping again, and I'm like, so what you doing? Oh, just exercising here. By the way, out of breath. So I knew at that point that he wasn't gonna try anything because he was exhausted. So I'm just gonna like trying to point out the ridiculous position that he put himself in. So what you doing? Nothing. I'm just exercising here. Okay, good. Well, good. If you want to join us, I got the pads. Can hold them for you. I will get some gloves. We can spar. I don't think I went as far as sparring, but I pretty much say, hey, yeah, it's really good for you. So, if you want to join in, and it didn't take more than 2 seconds, and he's like, well, I gotta go, okay? And he left. And as he's approaching his friends was like, what the fuck? What was that all about? And as he's leaving, I'm watching him go, and I'm like, so what was that all about? Did that go as you planned it, as you saw it in your head? I see, when you come from weakness, it's very apparent. It's huge, it's loud. But when you come from peace, you come from power. So there's no movements, extra, unnecessary movements you have to do. It's all coming from within. And they're coming right out of your eyes. So don't ever back down from anybody who wants to come and pick on you, because they're coming already from a position of weakness. Something about you, it bothers them, it makes them feel small, so they're coming at you for doing that, making them feel small. Isn't that silly? And they want to cut you down in pieces, to pieces, because in stature, because you're making them feel so small. That's so weak. So then you can look at him in the eyes like in Tombstone, like Wyatt Earp looks at, what was his name? Johnny. Johnny Tyler. Why, Johnny Tyler? What are you doing with that shotgun? And Wyatt Earp is just standing in front of him, is like, well, are you going to do something? And slaps him and slaps him. Are you going to do something? Or you stand there and bleed? Because Johnny was saying, well, I'm really scared. And Wyatt Earp was like, damn right you're scared. I can see it in your eyes. You see? It's in the eyes because it's coming out of your gut. It's coming out of that solar plexus. That's been there for millions of years because it's been developing. It's been developing. It's this fire that is already there. Let you know. And also to execute. Anybody that comes around and wants to mess with you, you're prepared. It's there. But you gotta get in touch with it. It's just, because when it goes off again, if you don't know what's going on, it just confuses you, right? Imagine if I didn't know what was going on. I would have been completely confused. Yeah, well, come on, man. Because I was feeling his fear, right? But then once I realized, wait a second, this is not even mine. Because, and that's a huge to point out too, that it came before he came. Like, as he's traveling over, I was being alerted. It was something I wasn't watching. I wasn't paying attention. But it alerted me. And it was, I'll say, minutes before it happened. Now, why did it happen? Because I'm special? No. It's because I was already tapped in. Tap in, people. Tap in. The one requisite, though, It's like in the Cave of Wonders. You must be of a pure heart. So decide now, because good is good and bad is bad. I'm very much like that. A lot of people say that I'm very unflexible in that department, but no. Because your intuition is letting you know what's bad and what's good. So there's no gray area here. You can't be a good person if you're still eating animals. Because think about the pain that goes into killing them for your sustainment when there's plenty of choices nowadays. I mean, Benjamin Franklin was a vegetarian or a vegan maybe in the 1700s. There weren't that many options, and he did it. So, the point here is that if you're doing low vibration things, don't complain, because you will encounter a low vibration experience. Good is good and bad is bad. Decide to be good, because your intention, it's everything. Decide to be good, to stand for goodness. And the gates of heaven will open up for you. I promise. Okay? Anyway, we'll talk about... It moves me because I've been there. It moves me because I once felt lost, and now I'm found. Check out the lyrics in Amazing Grace. It speaks about what I'm talking about. Anyway, be good. Have a wonderful day.